afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast Addendum with me, your host, Imperial Lane. Today's topic, what sort of units they should bring into Company Heroes 3, if they get around to it. And of course, some of these will sort of depending on sort of theatre, time area, and I'm still assuming World War II. So, I mean, what sort of units would, I think be definitely the highest on this? Probably the Flak 88 for starters, For some reason, they just decided to skip out and Companies 2 to go for the Pack 33, which is just nowhere near as flexible and, of course, a lot harder to balance around because it's a static anti-tank and that's it. As the 17-pound they're going to show in Companies 1 and Companies 2, that's pretty difficult to get useful. Had they gone for the Flak 88, they'd gotten a lot more flexible weaponry, particularly with the buffers. They also said, hey, we can also do them with artillery. And the thing is, the Flak 88 was pretty solid artillery, in particular because it also had access to airburst rounds. So, I mean, just being able to have a much more flexible artillery and anti-aircraft and anti-tank piece there, I think, would be pretty solid and pretty fun, as the Wehrmacht to have in the first place. And that one is pretty much just universal throughout any theatre and any time periods. I mean, that one's just sort of the easy inclusion. Flak 88, please, Relic, please. And of course, depending on the time period, we were talking, North Africa, the M3 Lee, Grant would be, pretty fun. Stuart, of course, the sort of the older variants. Maybe the Diana, which was well, basically an anti-tank and mounted a very large truck the Germans operated. It was pretty interesting as well. Also, you got sort of some of the early Armada variants based on the Panzer II. Those could also be pretty interesting to see, The Armada series did, I think, also get a bit, left behind in companies. In fact, a lot also, rather basic designs, which rather played crucial rules at times. Roles, not rules, but roles. I think, got a bit the short thrift in favour of just, Wunderwaffen, which, again, I'm not a particularly big fan of. Also, I think, more regular Wehrmacht half-track variants, like the ones for the cannons or the Pack 40 that can late war, though, but even the ones with the Pack, the 75mm cannon were actually common variants there for the Wehrmacht, you're providing infantry support that way rather than just going for the Flak flame for a half, which can be tricky to balance, just a more regular cannon variant, I think, be in some ways more interesting, but also somewhat easier to balance for Relic, plus could give them some kind of softer anti-tank at times, which is also what the Wehrmacht finds itself needing. So, that would, be pretty interesting. So I mean that one would be overall nice to see. And again, this cannon sort of variant, for example, so usage throughout most of the fronts as well. It was probably not early war, and I don't think we're going to do that, but 1942, 43, 44, 45. That one, for example, saw plenty of usage. So that would be a pretty nice addition. And maybe just some regular Flak trucks, not Flak half tracks like we're seeing here, but just regular Flak trucks, self-propelled like that. In North Africa, they didn't go for the Flak car, which they had actually in the German army. So those would be pretty fun. And for the Americans, again, we're sort of talking early mid-war. They had one of their earlier tank destroyers was basically a half-track with an anti-tank gun mounted on the back, and they've seen in particular one used by the Rangers, which also had a mounted mortar on top of the anti-tank gun inside the half-track. Fun fact there. So I mean, those would be some pretty fun units to see in that regard, just this sort of early period. I mean, if you somehow end up with the Surge again, paratroopers, just the Black Sea Marines would be pretty fun as well. I think rather solid addition. Or the KD-85 tank, the missing link between the KD-1 and the IS-2 tank. That one I think would also be a pretty nice addition in Companies 2, to be honest, alongside maybe either the paratroopers or the Black Sea Marines, which again would have been pretty fun to see as well. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities I think they're missed by Relic, to be honest. A lot of opportunities. So again, those, would be pretty nice additions, personally. Just, there's a few examples there. Late war, if some end up again with the Americans versus the Germans, the M24 Chaffee, feeling has been rather left in the shadows there by Relic, pretty interesting light tank there, and just for some reason they just never included it, which I think is a bit of a shame, to be honest. Also the Yak Panther, obviously, again late war, but still, better fit than the Yak Tiger and the Elephant, since unlike those two, it was a lot more mobile, which, and also less heavily armoured, which makes it overall a lot more easy to balance, which, is kind of more useful. So, a lot of things there I think should just, easily be included depending again on the time period. Also, the Nassau one, honestly, the Nassau one. Like, for all the tank destroyers they could have gone for, and heavy ones, they went not for the Nassau one, which again was also present throughout, from mid-war to late war. It was a much better design than the Elephant due to being less prone to breaking down, less heavy, and well overall it's also easy to balance because it was soft skinned. I mean, plus they had the Hummel model and it's basically the same chassis. So I mean, why they didn't go for that one but insist on the Elephant, which is now pretty much useless, having got nerfed again and again and again, it's just Well, I mean, they should have gone for the Nashorn, and I definitely think if we end up in Italy, they definitely need to go for the Nashorn. And if we are also end up in, mid-war period, they need to add the Panzer III for the Wehrmacht. I mean, come on. The Panzer III, it's rather iconic as well. And with some shirts on it certainly also looks pretty neat. There's even sort of variants they could run over there. There's Model M, Model N, so the last models, they run with a sort of better anti-tank, but the armor versus with better anti-infantry. That's opening up for a few options there. So, those would be some pretty nice additions, to be honest. Some pretty nice additions. Personally, anyways. And I'm sure you got plenty of other units you'd like to see in now, but that's just sort of my quick thoughts here. Just figured you throw a video with some of the units I'd like to see in Counter-Strike again, slightly depending on time period and theatre, but still, the Flak 88 though is pretty easy, and even the Panzer III could see a lot of usage here and there. So I mean, this was sort of rather top of the list, to be honest. So there you go. List off your own sort of units you'd like to see in a Company C. This is Imperial signing off. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you like to do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links in the video description. Every little bit helps me keep making videos. So cheers everybody, and see you all another time. Bye.